Okay, so this is our Tuesday workout. I started out Tuesday morning. Didn't really do any yoga. I think baby girl got up did yoga. But this is my lunchtime bike ride. I am on the side of our street in the subdivision, and looks like playing with the camera a little bit. That was my first time going out with the GoPro on the bicycle, so just kind of adjusting the camera, and now I'm off riding through the neighborhood. And this is just our Tuesday workout. Uh, and early on, I just kind of warm up, getting through the neighborhood, and then with the music on, we let's go get it. We go work, and we pedal our way through the entirety of uh, the sprint, because basically that's what it is. It's a sprint. I start out when I leave the subdivision, and we ride. But as you can see, subdivision is filled with palm coconut trees, and I am moving up towards the beginning of the subdivision. So I'm just making my way out of the subdivision now, and I'll turn this street up here. It's called the Bloom, and as we kind of get into the ride, you'll see that my route is pretty much a circle. But this is the road that we come in every day, and so I figured out a way to ride. The island is pretty flat, so it's not difficult to ride. It gets pretty warm at lunchtime, but as you can see, the visuals with the palm trees and just kind of the open air, uh, it's not a bad ride. But throughout the ride, I recollect my sports days, and I'm constantly challenging myself as if I'm competing against some of the kids that maybe I coached who now, obviously I'm a little bit older, think that they could outcycle me, outlift me, outrun me. So it's just a way that I stay motivated to finish the drill, as they say. But I'm gonna turn the corner here, and uh, I would need baby girl to remind me of the name of the. There's a resort up the hill, and as I get up the hill, you'll see some of the taxis that are out waiting for either guests to arrive or guests to take back to the airport. But this is just one of the inclines on the ride. And the camera's a little bit jumpy again because it's on the handlebars of my bike, and we're just kind of riding through Freeport, Grand Bahamas. Uh, and as you can see, palm trees all around that. And that's the hotel. Uh, as you can see, people drive on the left side of the road. Uh, Maybe you didn't notice it with the bike, but I'm on what we would consider the opposite side of the road. But this is Freeport. And the great part of it is I got to go home and then really hit it with baby girl working out. But this is just how we get started. As you can see, it's just a sprint. If I hadn't muted out most of the noise, you would be able to hear uh, the sounds of the bike on the road. You can kind of hear me going over little humps and nooks and crannies in the road. But this is doubloon. I don't think that I've turned on Churchill yet, but we had the hardest time just kind of making our way. uh, around the island when we first arrived. It's pretty straightforward, but it's a little bit different in that it runs primarily east and west, and we're kind of central south. So there's not a whole lot directly around us, but I guess within 10, 15 minutes, we're close enough to get fast food, close enough to go to grocery store, close enough to go to the bank, and probably another 5 minutes or so close enough to be in their downtown. But as you can see, just kind of riding, and uh, I think it was overcast yesterday, uh, and I'm just kind of going through the video before I put it out on YouTube for you to be inspired. Maybe inspire me with your own video of something that I can chase after, uh, and use as motivation to go from where I am to maybe even better than what I'm doing. So always feel free to share your videos, and let's inspire each other. But now I'm coming up on this street is midshipman. I talked about being, about 10 minutes away from everything. If I turn left here, it takes me up towards town. It takes me up to the service station, the gas station. It takes me up to the grocery store. Uh, takes me up to the golf course. It takes me up to most things. But as you see, I turned right, so I'm coming back towards the house. But this is a main road that's a connector with uh, getting around the island, and it's midshipman. But as you can see, it's somewhat of an incline as well, so it's a pretty good ride. And this is Freeport, Grand Bahamas. Bike ride at lunchtime on Tuesday, June 29th, 2021. This is what we're doing for lunch. Let's go get it. Let's go get it. Let's go get it. Come on, coach, climb, coach, climb, coach, climb, coach, climb, coach. Let's go get it. But this is it. I will. We've attempted to GoPro on the scooter a few times, but never quite worked out. We're gonna GoPro. Uh, we went up to the western part of the island this past weekend, and I'll put that video out as well. Uh, but we wanted a GoPro, and we are having difficulties with the camera, and uh, we'll get that recorded so that you can see other parts of the island. This will be your first kind of trek around what we get to see every day. We've obviously posted pictures and videos just around the subdivision at the ocean, but I don't think we've ever posted anything on the streets. And this is, again, my Tuesday routine. Typically, we would do yoga in the morning, and we both still work, so it's a regular work day. And um, at lunchtime, this is what we do. I started out, well, I guess I can back up because before I really get started with the lunchtime workout, she does a power walk, I guess through the neighborhood. I've not gone on any of the walks, but she leaves and she's gone for, I guess, about an hour or so. Uh, and when I'm sitting on the balcony, I can see her walking through. So uh, I just deduced that it's a power walk. And then we come back, and at lunchtime, this is what we do. So it starts out yoga. Some mornings it's smoothie. Some mornings it's juice. Some mornings it's what she considers a hungry man breakfast, where I eat pretty big breakfast and uh, yoga, some stretching, a little work, her power walk, my bike ride, and then we do a little cardio, leg workout. I guess maybe about 30 minutes or so, maybe not that long. But as you can see, we're climbing, we're going to get it, we're going to get it. Let's go, coach. Let's climb, coach. Let's climb, coach. And the camera did a lot better than I thought. This was really the first time that we've looked at anything that was recorded with the camera over the road. So, not a bad picture. Uh, I don't know if a stabilizer would make it any better, but really not a bad picture. It allows you to see the streets of Barbados. I mean, just left Barbados, but the streets of Bahamas, uh, at least along the trail that I frequent when daily on the bike ride. But uh, I guess I would say that I'm roughly 5 minutes now from oceanfront. If I continue down this road, I'm going to turn eventually, but if I continue down that road, it would take us down and I think we posted a picture at Banana Bay Restaurant. If I continue down this road beyond where I'll turn, it would run me directly into the ocean. But guess maybe about another 5 minutes of climbing this hill, and then I'll make a right, and it'll move me closer to the house. So this is my turn. This is the last major hill that I'll have to climb. But you can see the change in elevation on the camera seems to point north, and so we're climbing. And I try to keep the resistance, the gear in the highest gear the entire ride, just to ensure that we're putting max pressure on the muscles in. And if you want them to grow, you gotta put them under pressure. If you want it to grow, you gotta put it under pressure. And what I've discovered is that the muscles will do whatever the mind tells the muscles to do. A lot of times we just quit on ourselves, and uh, the muscle will do that too if you allow it to do it. Um, but as you can see, yesterday was about going to get it, so we went and got it, and we got a little bit more climbing to do. So let's climb with me. Let's go. Now this is when the legs burn and you wish you could just stop pedaling just to rest a little bit. But you know it's a full on sprint and you can't stop. You got to keep going. And you're driving in the highest gear, the hardest gear possible. And your legs are burning, but you got to finish the drill. You got to finish the drill. You got to make this turn right here. I think this is Fortune Bay, but we're back on Doubloon, which is the street that the subdivision sits on. Uh, but we're still pushing. We're still pushing. It wasn't a time to rest because we came to the home stretch. It was time to finish the drill, so let's finish the drill. And then the good part about it is that this doesn't complete it. This just gets it started. And then we go to the house and we really work it. But as you can see, along the route, you saw a lot of, I guess, what was traditional trees that you might see in the States. As we get closer to the subdivision, you'll start to notice the palm trees again. They'll start to be plentiful. And you can see me kind of moving closer. This is still heavily wooded, but once I kind of make this turn, I'll come closer to the subdivision and you'll start to see the vegetation change. So now the homes that are next to us, I found out that that is a $1 million subdivision, and the homes that we're in must be, I think they were 800,000 at some point, maybe four now, 4 or 5. So it's a pretty nice subdivision, pretty nice subdivision right next to us. Both are gated, so that provides the extra security for baby girl when either I'm not there and she's there, uh, and it's a beautiful neighborhood, and it's oceanfront. So I don't know if you'll see it when I turn into the subdivision and start moving down towards our home. Uh, Maybe you can see the opening where it's just a short walk for us to leave the house and go make our way to the ocean. So this is the front of the subdivision, and you've got the clubhouse to the right, tennis courts behind the clubhouse. Then you've got a lap pool that's also back behind the tennis court. And as you can see, the palm trees are everywhere. Uh, but there's a couple of other fruit trees, mango for one, and then there's a couple of other grape trees or something very similar to grapes that we noticed growing on a tree. But if you can see down beyond the trees, that is where the ocean resides. And we've got a street or two to go before we get to the house. Uh, so every day we come in, whether I'm coming in off the bike, whether I'm coming in off the scooter, the closer we get to the house, the closer we can see the ocean. And I'm turning now to actually go into the house. So that was the bike ride. That was that part of the workout. Uh, it'll just take a minute for me to transition the camera from the bike to in the house and kind of get it set up. So if you were working with me doing some type of exercise, then maybe this is your moment to get you some water. I'll take you a short break, and then when we come back, you can join us again and go on the second half of the workout with us. So that's what it is after a sprint around Grand Bahamas. Yeah, she locked the door while I was out. So again, now, like I said, get your water, use the bathroom, uh, get yourself ready. If you're gonna go with us, because in about 3 4 minutes we're gonna go at it, and we go and get it. I'm 50, she'll be 50 uh, in a little over a month, and hey, I feel like we can keep up with the 30-year-olds, and in many cases we can outdo them. So take it as a challenge if you want, but post your video and let us see what you got going on, and then we'll see if we can match you. Let's start by matching us. Yeah, I was pretty tired when I came in. That's a good ride. I want to extend it and make it longer. Find a new addition to the route, but that's a pretty taxing ride. That's a good ride, especially when it's a sprint where from the moment you hit the subdivision to the moment you're back, you're pedaling nonstop. It's just the hardest gear, and you know you got a race to run, so you run the race. But looks like I should probably be coming back outside pretty soon to get the camera and get set up, and we'll get ready to get going again. Call that my gift to you, giving you a moment to get a breather.